Hey guys, it's Friday night. I just got done with work, showered and everything. It's actually date night, and so I may have to cut it short here if my wife comes down. But anyway, I was just thinking about the day, and I want to do my best to document my journey to $1 million. Okay, that's my goal this year, and I want to do my best to kind of show you how I'm going to do it, and hopefully, if all everything lines up the way it's supposed to, I hit my goal. I know some people have asked, what about my personal take-home goals and profit goals? Now, I've always paid myself well. I've always had good profits as long as I'm really careful with my money. So those two things aren't at the top of my goal list. My goal is to hit $1 million in revenue, because if I do everything right that I'm supposed to with the business, the other two things, which is my personal pay and profit, will just fall in line how it's supposed to. I'm more worried about growing the business. I've got to staff up this year. I've got to make sure everybody has the right equipment, the right vehicle. So my goal is $1 million, and hopefully, if I do everything right, and hopefully I document it all, it will pay off in the long run. But today and yesterday were pretty interesting days. Yesterday was the first time a lead for maintenance out of the blue, a cold lead called for the first time, and I did my best to slow this call down, because you know me, I've made some videos of me taking calls, and I go right into the price, and I tell them I'll be there as soon as possible. Like, that's basically my sales approach. And I went to the SA5 conference this year, and one of the talks was from Jim Evans, the vice president of sales at Service Autopilot. He did such a good talk. I actually spoke with him after his talk to let him know how inspiring and good that talk was, and how I wanted to implement some of those things when I get back. And one of those things was getting to know your client and trying to figure out if they're your ideal customer. Okay. And so I slowed the call down. I gave him the price. Let's just say the price was $44 for mowing, and it was $49 for fertilizing. And that was normally where I would have ended it. But yesterday I said, is there anything else that we can do while we're on your property? We do other services, sprinkler services, shrub pruning, garden cleaning. I mean, do you need anything else? Anyway, I got into talking with him, and it turns out he did need some shrub work. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to have the garden manager come out and talk with you, and get that looked at, and we'll figure out what to do after that. Anyway, I wasn't trying to close this guy right away. There wasn't real urgency because, it's January. And so I know he was just calling for a quote, and I wanted to do my best to give him the quote, but also to 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 let him know that, hey, we're ready for your business. So anyway, it was great conversation. Because, like I said, I try to slow it down. I wanted to get to know them, and I wanted them to know me. That was one of the things that I learned from Jim Evans at Service Autopilot this year, was try to get those customers to know you, even when it's a sales call. Like when they call you to get a quote, try and do your best to get as much information out there so that they feel comfortable with you. So if they call the next guy, next business, and it's a lower price, maybe they'll remember you because you were so personable and you actually cared. And so I asked him, what other things can we do? And he told me. Anyway, so I had the garden manager call him today, which is the day after. She met with him, and he was really impressed. And actually, while she was there, she noticed that he had dogs. And so she said, hey, do you need someone on poop patrol, when we're on your property mowing or cleaning gardens and all that? And he's like, oh my gosh, yes, I do. I have my grandkids. I pay my grandkids to clean the mess, and they don't even do it all the time. So, boom, upsell right there. A quick upsell that turned, if it was $44, about 53, but about a $44 sale turned into a $54 sale, because we paid attention to what's going on around them. And it wasn't even a hard sell. It was just Boom, did you know we can do that? Oh my gosh, I need that. So I just wanted to point these things out that that's what I'm going to do. And I've already talked with Rachel long before this phone call came, but that's the kind of thing we're going to do because I learned that from Service Autopilot conference, and I think it's just valuable and it's actually paying off. I was actually able to ask him, which I hardly never do because I was going slower on this call, was, how'd you hear about me? I know a lot of you guys are good at that. I'm not. And he said it was from a postcard. And the postcard was sent like 3 months ago when I was doing leaf cleanups and sprinkler blowouts. So I'm not sure which one it was, but it's good to know that those postcards that I paid for, 3 months ago are paying off now. So that's good to know. And that's all from me slowing it down, kind of trying to get to know the customer and everything. So anyway, really happy today because that was our first client that we closed. And that's the thing, is we upsold a lot on this one phone call. And that's so my goal last year was 500,000 and I was really close. I did about 440,000 this last season. So I was short from my goal. But I got close to my goal last year with very little marketing money because I upsold so much on every property or every customer. Me and Rachel were just finding anything we could with those customers. We'd look at those accounts on the computer every day and go, that person usually has garden work, or that person needs garden work. Let's call them. Let's go over there. That kind of thing. And I believe that's how we did 70% over the previous year. And most of that is from doing that kind of thing. So this year we're going to do the same thing, but we're also going to put a lot of money into marketing. So it's going to be really important that I figure out where these calls are coming from. Anyway, that's my first little step in this journey this year. I feel like closing that first sale and feeling really good about it. So anyway, I'll talk to you next time.